Kahani Bar brings you a cocktail of stories, both in English and Hindi. I am Richa, and today's story is from our segment Waking Dreams by Neerja K. This collection of short stories was born somewhere between truth and the unknown, between dreams and waking up. Our story for the day is The Pact. Seher found herself walking through a sublime valley. The river below was slow moving and calm, much like the throng of people around her, all unhurriedly snaking their way up the mountain path. Everyone seemed to be mesmerized by the view. The lofty, snow-clad mountains standing majestically against the cerulean sky, the low-hanging puffs of lazy crowds weaving in and out of the peaks, the fields upon fields of daffodils skirting both the banks of the river and the enormous orchids gracefully swaying from the trees. It was breathtaking. We've all had these moments like this, haven't we? When you feel at one with the universe, so overwhelmed by the beauty that you just need to share it with someone you love, or you'll just die. She turned to Uday excitedly, thinking, "Look at the light dancing in the clouds. Can you see it?" She wanted to squeeze his hand, but wait, how strange. She couldn't feel his hand in hers. She looked down, turned back, and looked all around in the crowd. Where was he? Wasn't he right here by her side just a moment ago? She stood up on her toes and tried to look over the sea of heads bobbing ahead. He had this awful habit of walking too fast, as though he was perpetually late for something. She had protested all her life about how she couldn't keep up. But this was different. She recalled very clearly that they had left together hand in hand. But now there was no sign of him. Had he stopped for something? Had she left him behind? She stopped, unsure of whether to walk ahead or turn back. She scanned the crowd for his warm brown eyes and his generous smile. "Uday, where the hell are you?" So many faces from so many parts of the world, men and women, old and young, and some children too. This had happened once before in the Grand Bazaar, when they had snuck out on a secret holiday. They had got separated in the Warrens when she had stopped to window shop. But then he'd found her easily. How upset he had been with her. But now Seher worried. There were too many people. It looked like everyone had heard about the view. Perhaps they should have picked a less popular spot. Uday, where are you?" Her hands instinctively went to her pockets, searching for her phone. Now where had she kept it? She felt a surge of anger. How could he be so careless? But then it passed, and she just felt anxious. What if he was hurt? Had he fallen? "I hope he's all right," she silently prayed. She dropped her speed to a snail's pace, letting everyone overtake her. But still no sign of him. She took a deep breath and reassured herself. They would find each other eventually. After all, Uday would also be looking for her. Soon she was the last person walking at the end. The stragglers also disappeared over the hill, and now she found herself walking all alone. The light was starting to fade, and her heart sank along with the sun. The crowd had been swallowed by the mist that was rising from the river and getting denser by the minute. In the distance, she now saw a faint outline of a long bridge that got lost at the other end, or so it seemed. The people now looked like stick figures. They were so far ahead. Many of them were now crossing the bridge. What should she do? Should she keep waiting here, for Uday? Or should she run and catch up with the throng, just in case he was already up ahead? Classic Uday, ruining this perfect moment with all the stress and drama, she thought with a wry smile. She was going to be so mad at him when she found him. The river had gone from a dreamy powder blue to a golden lavender as the setting sun danced on the water. The mist rose from its surface like a muslin wrap, trying to engulf the whole place. And she kept walking. Her heart pined for Uday. She was sure that at any moment he would come running from behind and startle her with a big yell and a laugh, and she would yell at him and smack him, and they would both laugh at the whole thing, walking hand in hand. After all, wasn't it this what they had both wanted for so long? To be together in a beautiful place like this. Everything was perfect, peaceful, and serene, except Uday wasn't here. The nagging worry was back now. Where was he? It was getting late. This wasn't funny anymore. Her heart started imagining the worst. Uday lying trampled and hurt and alone on the rocks or by the river. Had he fallen? Uday! Uday! She called out in desperation. Immersed in her troubling thoughts, she did not realize she was already at the bridge now. Through the mist, she discerned a figure walking towards her. Could it be him? Alas, it was a woman. She had a kind face and a notepad in her hand. Maybe there was a toll for the bridge? Where was her wallet but? Uday always kept tickets and cash in his. He was way more responsible than her with that kind of stuff. Seher, there you are, said the woman as she walked towards her. Seher froze in fear and confusion. Who was she? How did she know her name? Of course, silly me, she would have my name on the list of today's bookings. In fact, she might be able to find Uday for me. Why have you stopped, Seher? You must cross the bridge now. What are you waiting for? It's getting very late and we need to hurry. So come with me. Let's mark your entry in the list, said the woman. Seher exclaimed, But I can't. Not yet. Have you seen Uday? Maybe he's gone ahead and we've somehow missed each other. I mean, have you seen a man coming through? 5'8", curly hair. He's in a pink shirt. The woman looked down at her list. Seher kept muttering. No, he's probably just running late as usual. She smiled indulgently. I'll wait for him here, if you don't mind, and then we will cross the bridge together. I can't leave him behind. Leave? Leave who behind? There is no one else scheduled to arrive today. You are the last one, said the woman in a kindly voice. What's the name you said? Uday. She took a little longer this time looking at her notes. And then she shook her head. I'm afraid that name isn't here in my records. Can you please check again? There must be some mistake. We left together. He was just with me before we lost each other in the crowd, Seher pleaded. The woman looked intrigued. That is impossible. We have never made a mistake like this before. But let me check again. Seher squeezed her eyes shut and prayed hard for Uday's name to be there. The woman touched Seher's shoulder and gently asked, Who is this Uday, Seher? And why do you believe that he should be here with you? Seher opened her eyes, blinking back tears. Uday, how do I begin to tell you who he is to me? Uday is my life, my soulmate. We grew up together in the same little neighborhood. Our houses were so close, yet so far apart. Each side of the street prayed to their own God, and their hate was so strong it wouldn't let our love live. There was no question of talking it out. The poison of fear and rage had festered for so many generations, they were blind. We decided to elope, but there was no place to hide. We knew that they would hunt us down and kill both of us. My father and my two brothers would surely kill Uday first and then me. We even tried to forget each other, but that was impossible. So in the end, we made a pact together. We decided to take a step that would liberate us from the shackles of our religion and community, so that we could be free and together forever. And ultimately, we decided to go where no one could find us. The woman interrupted. So you chose to come here? Okay, let me see if I can find your Uday. She closed her eyes and focused. Then she beckoned for Seher to come closer. An image appeared in the mist. Seher stretched out her hand, longing to touch Uday. Yes, yes, that's him, she said, bursting with joy. Then she saw herself beside him, and it slowly started to come back. This exact moment replayed in slow agony. Her smile faded as she watched and remembered what had happened. Tears started rolling down her cheeks. Should I stop it? The woman asked. Seher shook her head and watched, transfixed, wishing she could change it. Seher and Uday were standing together in a tight embrace on the terrace of a high-rise building. A full moon shone bright and the clear sky was sprinkled with stars. It was a spellbinding scene if you didn't know any better. Star-crossed lovers on a balmy, beautiful night. More romantic than any scene in a movie. Then they disentangled themselves, looked wistfully at each other for a long moment, and then, holding hands, they quietly started to walk towards the far end of the terrace. Now they were both standing on the edge of the ledge. It looked like they were both going to jump together, but something flickered across Uday's face. He looked at her with love in his eyes and then at the sheer fall. The doubt stopped his feet and he started to pull her back. No, Seher, wait. We can't do this. I can't be the reason you die. No, wait. But Seher's foot was already treading air. Uday pulled with all his might. He tethered on the edge and pulled hard, trying to somehow heave her back, but it was too late. His words got drowned in his screams as Seher's hand slipped from his and she went over the ledge. Suddenly, his screams went dry in his throat and he stood there like a statue, shocked at what he had let happen. He could see Seher, the love of his life, falling down the 20 floors. Hysterical, he started pulling his hair out. He could not find his voice to scream. He started hitting his own face. His knees gave away and he sank down to the floor of the ledge. He sat there motionless, hugging both his knees, curled into a ball like a fetus. Tears streamed down Seher's face as she watched their separation. Her mind now remembered it all, but her voice kept denying it. No, this can't be true. No, we jumped together. We were supposed to. And the rest of her words were lost in defeated weeping as she too collapsed to the ground. Rocking herself back and forth, she cried for what seemed like a long time. Finally, the woman spoke tenderly. You won't find Uday here because he is not here. Seher suddenly looked up, her voice heavy with worry. She exclaimed, They will blame him and arrest him for my murder.
How can I save him? Please, you can help. Tell them it was not his fault, she pleaded.
Seher, that is not your responsibility. It is his. He has to fight for his innocence. That is his journey, and this is yours. You have come here alone, and you will have to cross over now with me. Seher was in shock. She wanted to die. But how can you die twice? This is Richa signing off. Take good care of yourselves till I'm back with the next story.